Major General Claire A. Gill, Commanding General, Aviation Center of Excellence. Brigadier General and Miss Kenneth C. Cole, Deputy Commanding General, Army Aviation Center of Excellence. Chief Warrant Officer 5 and Miss Robert S. Slider, Chief Warrant Officer of the Aviation Branch, Army Aviation Center of Excellence. Lieutenant Colonel Retired and Miss Ray Collins of the Wings of Wiregrass member. And Miss Jennifer Grimes, Wings of Wiregrass member. Thank you for your attendance. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation given by Chaplain Retired Paul Thornton.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful, glorious day that you've given us. Lord, we lift up to you our outgoing 110th Aviation Brigade Commander, Colonel Dennis Keith Hill. We who have had the privilege to have served with Colonel Hill are grateful for his persistent pursuit of excellence, his integrity, and his steadfast care and compassion for his soldiers and all of his personnel and their families. His time here at the 110th Aviation Brigade is ending. Please bless him, his wife Veronica, and their daughters Ava and Juliet, and their son Elliot as they continue to serve at Fort Rucker. We ask that you keep your hand of grace and blessings upon him and his family. Today we lift up to you our incoming 110th Aviation Brigade Commander, Colonel Joshua Colin Hayward. Grant abundant blessings upon his wife, Valerie, their children, Colin, Parker, Logan, and Scarlett. I ask that you give Colonel Hayward wisdom to lead, strength to always lead by example, and give him compassion to always care for his soldiers, his personnel, and their families. May he view this as a sacred trust from you to command the 110th Aviation Brigade and to guard it with all diligence. May you bless the 110th Aviation Brigade, the United States Army, and the United States of America. Grant us success in our missions and victory over our enemies. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. From time immemorial, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victory over an enemy, to honor their heroes, to celebrate special occasions, or to pay homage to their fallen comrades. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to military life. In the United States, the foundation of our present ceremonies was laid by the Continental Army. Today's ceremony is a reflection of procedures practiced since the dawn of our nation. The centralized presence of our nation's colors in the middle of the formation represents the unified purpose of our Army and willingness to offer the supreme sacrifice in defense of our nation and stands as a rallying point of strength and loyalty. Since the founding of our nation, units have carried their colors and our nation's flag side by side in peace and conflict. The unit colors symbolize the trust placed in us by our nation and are symbolic of unit pride, tradition, and history. Unit colors also serve to mark the location of an organization's headquarters. Before each battalion is its guideline. Like their parent unit's colors, it's a rallying point for members of the unit and representative of unit pride. The soldiers standing before you on the parade field represent the battalions of the 110th Aviation Brigade from left to right. They are Headquarters and Headquarters Company. Gladiators, led by Captain Dakota Caprice and First Sergeant Donnie Taylor. 1st Battalion, 11th Aviation Regiment. Squared Away, led by Lieutenant Colonel Brian Alexander and Command Sergeant Major Jack Essex. 1st Battalion, 14th Aviation Regiment. Tomahawks, led by Lieutenant Colonel Cody Kilmer and Command Sergeant Major Brett Babbitt. The Color Guard is under the direction of the Brigade Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Nathan D. Mullins. 1st Battalion, 212th Aviation Regiment. Wings of Freedom, led by Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Summer and Command Sergeant Major Lee Bullard. 1st Battalion, 223rd Aviation Regiment. Spartans, led by Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Bartlett and Command Sergeant Major Joshua Ricketts. The Commander of Troops is Lieutenant Colonel Mary Catherine Schuster. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the VIP seating section. On behalf of the soldiers and families of the 110th Aviation Brigade, Sergeant First Class Suetos is presenting a bouquet of red roses to Colonel Hill's spouse, Miss Veronica Hill. Red is the color of the heart and reflects the loving concern shown by the 110th Aviation Brigade family to our soldiers, civilians, and their families. The roses are in full bloom, symbolizing the beauty and fulfillment of their time in the 110th Aviation Brigade. A single red rose is also presented to Colonel Hill's daughters, Ava and Juliet, and a set of aviation wings to his son, Elliot. Sergeant Brown is now presenting the incoming commander's spouse, Miss Valerie Hayward, with a traditional bouquet of yellow roses to symbolize her arrival to the 110th Aviation Brigade. Through the years to come, may she forge a strong bond with the soldiers, civilians, and family members of the brigade. In time, these roses will blossom, as will her relationship with the brigade, its families, and Fort Rucker. A single yellow rose is also presented to Colonel Hayward's daughter, Scarlett, and a gift to his sons Colin, Parker, and Logan.
Adjutant's call! Sound! Present! Arm!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for posting the official party. The reviewing officer for today's ceremony is Major General Gill, Commander of the United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence in Fort Rucker. He is accompanied by the outgoing commander, Colonel Hill, and the incoming commander, Colonel Hayward.
Conduct ceremony.
Down, on arm, and ready, run!
Please be seated. The reviewing party will now move forward to troop the line and inspect the assembled soldiers. It is believed that Alexander the Great was the first military commander to use this long-standing tradition of inspection. Trooping the line allows the commander to inspect the fitness and readiness of his soldiers, while providing the soldiers the opportunity to view their commander up close. The troops show their commander their eyesight readiness, devotion to duty, and willingness to carry out their mission. The 10th Aviation Group was active on 30 June 1965, evolved from the 10th Air Transport Brigade. It supported the 11th Air Assault Division. When the 11th was disbanded, the 10th remained at Fort Benning, Georgia to provide all aspects of training for aviation companies preparing to deploy to Vietnam. The 10th Aviation Group was inactivated and redesignated back to the 10th Aviation Group in 2004. On 1 March 2005, the 10th Aviation Group was redesignated as the 110th Aviation Brigade. The Aviation Training Brigade at Fort Rucker assumed this unit's designation and lineage on the same day. The mission of the 110th is to provide the Army and Allied forces with professionally trained aviators and non-ready crew members with planning, coordinating, and executing formal flight instruction at an undergraduate and graduate level. The 110th Aviation Brigade consists of 4 battalions, each with a unique mission. The 111th Aviation Regiment reassigned to 110th Aviation Brigade in October 2010 provides air traffic services for all aviation training for AVCO at 5 base fields and 15 stage fields spanning over communities, serves as the Department of the Army Night Vision Device Training and Operations Staff Agency, and operates the Army's largest radar approach control. The brigade assumed the numerical designation as the 110th Aviation Brigade in March 2005 and inherited an illustrious lineage. The noteworthy history of the 110th Aviation Brigade represents the untiring efforts of true professionals and serves as a solid foundation for future endeavors.
Detachment! Present! Arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The reviewing party will now move forward for the traditional passing of the unit colors. They are assisted by Command Sergeant Major Mullins of 110th Aviation Brigade and CVA-5 Dennis Elknott, the Chief Officer of the 110th Aviation Brigade. The change of command is a simple, traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the unit's colors. These colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of the soldiers. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there also are the colors. The custodian of the colors is the command sergeant major. As the senior enlisted soldier, Command Sergeant Major Mullins is both the spokesperson for the loyalty and concerns of the soldiers and is the principal advisor to the commander. The passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of authority from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander. This demonstrates to the soldiers of the unit the outgoing commander has passed the mantle of leadership to the new commander, and with this must also pass the loyalty of the soldiers to their new commander. Command Sergeant Major Mullins passes the colors to Colonel Hill, who in turn will pass the colors to Major General Gill, relinquishing command of the Warrior Brigade. Major General Gill passes the colors to Colonel Hayward, charging him as the commander of the 110th Aviation Brigade. By the authority of the Army Regulations 600-20, paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the 110th Aviation Brigade Warriors, effective 30 July 2026, signed, Joshua C. Hayward, Colonel Aviation Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence in Fort Rucker, Major General Claire A. Gill.
Okay, so I think everybody appreciates it's almost August in the summer, so commanders and sergeant majors, put everybody at rest. You know what to do. I want everybody shaking your legs. Nobody here cares if you're holding it tight right now. Let's unseat the colors, right? You guys know what to do. Leave the national colors there. And I'm going to move out here. So for all of our distinguished guests, friends, family, soldiers of AVCO and the 110th, welcome, good morning. Welcome back to Fort Rucker. Welcome to the home of Army Aviation. On behalf of Sergeant Major Davila and CW5 Slider, welcome to the change of command ceremony for the 110th Aviation Brigade, the Warriors. This is a big day for all of us as we transfer command of the Army's most impactful flight training mission. This brigade, these leaders directly impact the future readiness and the lethality of our Army. Make no mistake about it, the Warriors make warriors who strike from the sky. I couldn't be more proud of what this unit has done amid a challenging physical and operating environment as we contemplate the future of warfare in the context of the ground domain. I want to offer a special welcome to the families of our commanders, to the Hillside, Veronica, Ava, Juliet, and Elliot, great to have you here. And parents, I think great to have you here, sir. And on the Hayward side, Valerie and the kids, Colin, Parker, Logan, Scarlett, and to your parents and in-laws. Great to have you all back here at Fort Rucker. I know you've all been here a few times. So glad that you're here to witness these talented leaders on this significant career milestone and celebration of their careers. You support these outstanding aviation warfighters. It means your support means a lot to them, not only today, but throughout the entirety of their careers. And I'll speak to the absolute criticality of family in a minute, but thanks to you all for being amazing Army families and for serving our nation too. And thanks to all who made this event special. That's our protocol team, the commo team, the G3, and certainly the band over here comes down from Fort Benning to add heraldry to our ceremonies. And then lastly, and certainly not least, I also want to recognize the 110th Aviation Brigade, represented right here by the guidons, the colors, the men and women who stand in this wonderful formation. It's the soldiers who make our Army the world's most feared fighting force globally. No one here will be surprised that this ceremony, while focused on changing our brigade's leadership, is also a demonstration of exactly how we train. We planned this event weeks ago. We rehearsed it several times this week, including earlier this morning. They're getting their second iteration. And the execution is a reflection of the same detailed planning and execution of training that this brigade executes daily and nightly to launch and recover over 500 aircraft in our fleet. Thank you for representing the very best of Fort Rucker and our Army warriors. You truly are above the best. Now, I venture a guess that there are few in attendance here today who have not previously been to a change in command, so you knew what to expect. You heard our narrator talk about the responsibility and the command authority that was passed with the colors. It's so simple, yet so powerful. In that instant, Keith Hill's authority and command of our mission was just instantly put on the shoulders of Josh Hayward. Everyone here acknowledges the past and the future, but there is no break-in date. This formation now looks to Colonel Hayward for guidance, intent, and execution of its mission. That is powerful. So for 3 more minutes, though, I want to reflect on the past, specifically the last 3 years of what this brigade has done under the leadership of Colonel Keith Hill and his command team, Sergeant Major Mullins and CW5 Elkema. Keith, I'll say it up front, it was an honor to serve with you. It was a privilege to watch you lead this mission and our soldiers and shoulder arguably the most risk on a daily basis of any brigade in our entire Army. Change is hard. Transforming is challenging. At Fort Rucker, it's seemingly impossible. We challenged ourselves over the past 3 years to transform how we train, in some cases what we train, and increase the efficacy of our outcomes. We have a lot of history here in how we train aviation warfighters. So you can be assured that getting buy-in on transformation requires exceptional and unrelenting leadership. Keith Hill provided that to our formation and to this mission. It started with the culture of this brigade, the warriors. We're putting young men and women through a metamorphosis as they learn the demanding expectations of being an Army aviator. We don't coddle, we don't hold their hand, but we do teach, coach, and train to standard. Keith modeled this literally from the front office to the front seat of an aircraft. From the transformation of our instructor pilot course to the advanced tactics instructor course, Colonel Hill willed our increased emphasis on tactical training and empowering our aircraft instructors to develop critical training and generate future pilots in command. Moreover, he developed a program that pushed our newest aviators to conduct student-only cross-country flights. I heard one of them out on the radio yesterday and it fired me up. Again, pushing the envelope and demanding mature, sound decision-making while commanding an aircraft in flight. An incredible amount of risk that Keith's team has managed and mitigated extremely well. You set conditions for us to transform yet again with the imminent award of the Flight School Next contract. And your legacy will be felt throughout our Army for a generation at least, as you commanded the 1st and 223rd, served as our DPS director, and culminated right here as Warrior 6, all shaping a better version of Army aviation for the future. Keith Hill's acumen was backed up by a wonderful Army family, as I mentioned earlier. They are the safe haven. Veronica is the counselor and the joy that allows leaders like Colonel Hill to commit to this body of work. Veronica, a superstar in her own right, balancing the demanding career as a PhD nurse practitioner, business owner, while serving as the First Lady of this fantastic brigade. Thanks for your tireless commitment over the years, culminating with the past 3 years as a rudder for Team Hill and the Warrior Brigade. How you managed it all is another amazing Army story. Now, I'll address the Hill kids here, but as a veteran Army brat myself, I speak for and to all Army kids. We see you and we are so proud of you. The Hill group have had the good fortune of being local Wiregrass kids for a number of years, and I know I speak for your parents when I say how proud we are of how you carry yourselves as ambassadors of our Army in your own way. Thanks to all of Team Hill. It was good fortune to have it. Team Hill is good. Absolutely. Team Hill isn't going far. Keith's moving over to be to our G8 director, where he'll manage the largest budget of any center of excellence. Less fun than teaching our nation's finest to fly helicopters, but an absolutely critical mission nonetheless. Truly an impressive tenure in command, Keith. Well done. All right, as I mentioned, instantaneously we have a new Warrior 6. Welcome home to Josh and Valerie and their children, Colin, Parker, Logan, and Scarlett. Coolest sunglasses in the audience today. Josh is more than well qualified to lead this formation. He's a master aviator with prior 1st Aviation Brigade experience who has all the staff and tactical credentials to command this vitally important Army mission. There is no better trained, seasoned leader to command our Army's initial entry and graduate flight training mission. Welcome back to the home of Army aviation from your overseas tour in Izmir, Turkey. I know the audience shares with me a warm wiregrass greeting to the entire Hayward family. We look forward to the next couple years as you command these men and women and train the next generation of Army aviators. You inherit a formation with tremendous momentum forged by your predecessor. I certainly don't need to give you any advice, but I'll offer this, and you likely already know it. Command is a demanding job, but it's an absolute privilege. It's unlike any other leadership job on the outside. You and Valerie will pour your hearts and souls into setting the culture, taking care of these soldiers, and accomplishing this critical mission. This team, now your team, will deliver as you guide them through the significant transformation of flight training that will happen under your leadership and guidance over the next couple of years. Ray and I are really excited for the impact that you're going to have on this brigade and our community. Thanks for what you are about to do, and congratulations again, Commander. All right, Warriors, thanks for the incredible job that you all perform day and night. Continue to be the exacting in your planning and execution, and accept nothing less than our rigid standard of excellence and execution. Our nation, our Army, are relying on you to deliver aviation warfighters who will be the difference maker on the battlefields of tomorrow. I could not be more proud of the unrelenting way that you fight through friction to make our Army stronger, more lethal, and more ready for whatever our nation requires. Above the best, fly Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander of the 110th Aviation Brigade, Colonel Dennis K. Hill.
Distinguished guests, family, friends, teammates, thank you for being here today to celebrate this transition of leadership. General Gill already mentioned the heat, so in keeping with that, I've turned my 10-minute speech into 4 minutes, 39 seconds. So Sergeant Majors in the audience, start to watch it. What General Gill didn't mention was the incredibly high pollen count today, so if my Army allergies start acting up during the speech, you'll forgive me. I'd like to highlight though, last week on July 23rd, I marked my Army-versary. 25 years ago in 1 week, I drove through that Daleville gate with 2 duffel bags and 1 laundry basket full of clothes to start my Army journey. Back then, I couldn't have told you where the sky was. But I can tell you right here, right now, today, I am still as excited to wear this uniform as I was a quarter century ago. And I was thinking about that first day when I woke up this morning. And as I rolled over, I nudged Veronica and I said, "Babe, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think we'd be here?" Veronica looked at me, she raised her eyebrows, and she said, "Keith, you're not in my wildest dreams." Well, Veronica, even if I'm not in your wildest dreams, you are the love of my life, and I love you more than anything. Thank you for standing by me this entire Army ride, and especially the last 3 years of command. I simply could not have done it without you. And to my kids, Ava, Juliet, Elliot, thank you. You've grown up in the shadow of this uniform, putting up with moves and long hours without complaint. You continue to amaze me as you grow into incredible young adults. To the soldiers and officers on the field, thank you for sharing this parade field with me today. No matter whose name is printed on the program, make no mistake, this is your brigade. It is you, the soldiers, the warrant officers, the captains, and our dedicated civilians on the flight line who make magic happen every single day. Without you, our branch loses the very cornerstone of the world's greatest aviation enterprise. Keep doing what you do. Every day you show up to work, you make our branch stronger, our Army better, and our nation safer. Now everybody knows the Army is a team sport, and nobody accomplishes the mission alone. If our soldiers on the parade field and our guests in stands will indulge me during this Alabama heat wave, I'd like to recognize a few teammates who carried the load. To the command group who stood shoulder to shoulder with me over the course and offered me course corrections and steady leadership guidance. Sergeant Major Julio Santos, CW5 Rob Macy, and Ms. Janeska Rodriguez for my first 2 years. and Sergeant Major Nate Mullins and CW5 Dennis Elkema for this past year. You are the finest teammates a commander could have asked for. To our Iron Majors and Lieutenant Colonels who did the heavy lifting in the trenches of the S3 and the XO shops. Matt Stockton, Bill Lewis, Dallas Durham, Dustin Yates, Mary Kate Schuster, and Dave Shanahan. Thank you guys. To our unmatched warrant officers and aviation center professionals, Dan York, Jim Hill, Larry Peterson, Sam Baker, Chris Watson, Chris Stewart, and the entire standards and academics team. You keep our heads sharp. To Miss Maria Otero Sullivan and Lisa Roskin, who tirelessly manage our civilian administration and our legal battles. Thank you, ladies. To our brigade staff sections, past and present, especially Captain Ingram, Shirley Link, Sergeant Javarius Henderson, who double-dogged there me to put his name in the speech, Brandon Kelly, Master Sergeant Willis, Sergeant First Class Turner, thank you for making the pieces fall into place this past year. To our battalion and company command teams, again, past and present. There are too many of you to name individually, but you are the living legacy of this brigade. You execute the mission and handle the curveballs with raw leadership and innovative thinking. I am incredibly proud to have shared the sky with you, and I will deeply miss being on your team. Major General Gill, Brigadier General Cole, and the rest of the Aviation Center of Excellent Leadership and staff. Thank you for your mentorship, your trust, and for giving us the room to innovate, try new things, and execute a few good ideas. We built something here that we will all look back on with pride. Josh, I would wrestle you right here, right now, in this grass, if it meant I could stay in this job and on this team a little bit longer. But my time is up, and you probably kick my butt anyway. So I step away knowing you are the absolute right leader to take this brigade into the future. I will be cheering you on from the sidelines. Valerie, welcome to the family. I know you will cherish this brigade as much as we have. And thank you all for coming today and for your unwavering support for the 110th Aviation Brigade. Warriors, above the best, fly Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 110th Aviation Brigade, Colonel Joshua C. Hayward.
I didn't know we were going to need a wrestling mat and a much shorter mic now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, distinguished guests, friends, and family. Thank you for enjoying this hot day. It's great to be back at the home of Army Aviation. When we pulled into the gate late a few weeks ago, they said, "Welcome home." It is my fourth time. My family and I truly appreciate the warm welcome from the entire team, starting with the garrison when they reached out when they found out we were coming here, across AFCO, and then the entire Warrior family. They have made sure that we've been settled and taken care of and ready to take command. Thank you to the Maneuver Center band, protocol, and everyone who put this together. You made this a special event. Although my 4-year-old is starting to lose interest, I'll keep this going. To the Warriors standing out there on the parade field, thank you for what you do on a daily basis and enduring this great heat for the past few days. I look forward to working with each one of you. Thank you to my friends and family who traveled here today, from previous people that I've worked with across my time, and then my family and my in-laws. Valerie, Colin, Parker, Logan, Scarlett, thank you for enduring another quick Army move that was unexpected and changed our plans, but it'll be fun. And thank you for your support through every assignment we've had. Keith, the Warriors are a phenomenal organization. Be proud of the legacy you are leaving behind, and thank you for a great handover. Warriors 6 signing in, above the best, will do.
Commander of Troops is Lieutenant Colonel Mary Catherine Schuster from Oviedo, Florida. The headquarters company is Captain Cody,
Boys!
City, Missouri,
Right!
First Sergeant Lonnie Taylor from Newport News, Virginia. Alexander.
Boys! Right!
Command Sergeant Major Jack Esson from Transmit, Rhode The 114th Battalion Command Team is Lieutenant Colonel Cody Kilmer from Pittsburgh, Kansas, Senior Warrant Officer Advisor CB5 Stephen Bennett from Lafayette, Georgia, and Command Sergeant Major Brett Babin from New Orleans, Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and render the appropriate honors for passing our national colors led by Command Sergeant Major Nathan Mullins from Chesapeake, Virginia, and CB5 Dennis Alva from Oak Harbor, Washington.
Ready? Right. Run!
The first of the 212th Battalion Command Team is Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Summer from Zionsville, Indiana, Senior Warrant Officer Advisor CB5 Eddie Nelson from Butte, Montana, and Command Sergeant Major Lee Bowler from Scotts Bluff, Nebraska. The first of the 223rd Battalion Command Team is Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Bartlett from Kenner, Wyoming, Senior Warrant Officer Advisor CB5 John Greiger from Cleveland, Ohio, and Command Sergeant Major Joshua Ricketts from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Ready? Run!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us in singing Above the Best in the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's change of command. Colonel Hill and his spouse will farewell guests near the reviewing stand, and we invite you to join Colonel Hayward and his spouse for a reception and landing immediately following the ceremony. Thank you for your attendance.